I'm Dania DeLone, and I am a community breastfeeding educator with Milkworks. Well, I have 3 different experiences, each very different in their own. My first experience was when I was a teen mom, and I really found Vicki, who is a manager here at Milkworks. She was my Lamaze teacher, and if it wasn't for her, I don't think that I would have breastfed my daughter at such a young age. Because, well, being a teen mom is very challenging in itself, and all the other issues that I was dealing with being a teen mom. My second son came about 10 years later, and I felt like I was going to be a professional because I had done this as a teen mom and I made it through. So when he came, everything was fine. About 6 months into it, we had maybe a slight case of croup, which I think then led to my nipples being very chapped, and that was a very painful experience. It lasted for a couple weeks. I got I think the pediatrician called it triple nipple cream, fixed it right on up. I breastfed my king for about 2 years, so I literally finished breastfeeding my king and then had my third. So by then I thought I was the professional. And Sire was born tongue-tied. So for the first 24 hours, he was latched, but you could tell it wasn't a full latch because I kind of knew what a full latch was by then. And then the next day his tongue was clipped and I could tell a complete difference. He was latching much better. My milk was ready and in, and then it was just kind of him learning how to use his tongue and choke on his tongue and milk a little while. But then I'm still breastfeeding. He's 6 months and everything is going great. Before I started breastfeeding, my experience with breastfeeding was maybe just a visual of my mother breastfeeding my little brother when I was about 4 or 5. It's so beautiful, and it looks so natural, and it's almost like, you know, the thing to do. But you do have those jumps and hurdles of latching and or a little bit of bacteria infection, pumping. I mean, it can be very overwhelming at times. You are your child's food supply, and no matter where you are, you've got the food and you've got to figure out how it's coming out, where, who's going to see it. So I think the most challenging thing about it was that it was kind of a glamorized, just so easy to do process, but it took some time. You had to kind of learn yourself. You had to learn your child, you guys had to learn together, and then you had to do it cohesively. My third child, Sire, was about 3 weeks old when we were in between weighings. And I came in one Saturday and I needed to weigh him so that I could figure out if we were going back on Monday, and Ann approached me and had asked me some questions, and we got to talking. And from that, in our conversation, she had asked if I would be willing to ever talk to any moms in the community about breastfeeding. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I wanted to express the challenges as a teen mom. Boy, how I would love to just have all of them and take all of them under my wing, because it is one of the most challenging things in life. And it's not something that we always choose. And then there are a lot of moms, I guess, in that category where you have 50% of them who are ready to grow up, and then you have the other 50% who really are just teenagers and things happened. And really the support that those young women need to be able to help their children thrive in the community and to be great citizens to our community in general, it's really got to come from the people around us and our teachers, our mentors, our parents. I think the hardest thing about being a teen mom was you can't do this. The minute you were pregnant, no longer were you really a person, you were an object. and I was told to drop out and get my GED. It's just kind of like you're kind of like swept under the rug and thrown to the wolves. Like you're a taboo subject, and no longer can you be a productive woman in this community. We don't really understand, and we're not told that there is something better to offer our children, and that even though we do want to finish our education and get a high school diploma, we can pump on the side. There are so many different options that I wish teen moms were given. Being a teen mom is hard in itself. Breastfeeding on top of that is a whole nother subject, but as easy as it is to pick up and be a mom, it's just as easy to breastfeed. That's the best that you can ever give your child, and that's the best that you can give yourself as a mother. I think that the most rewarding part is the bond that you are able to share, and then the health benefits that not only your child will gain, but you will gain. I am then kind of being signed up for a free "you're not getting breast cancer" award, you know, the years that I continue to breastfeed. My children, I do believe that it affects their cognitive ability. I've noticed a huge difference in, I guess, my first and how long I breastfed, then from my second to the 2 years that he got breast milk. And just the difference in learning, the adapting to different things, and how easily they pick up on things. I think overall it is emotionally and physically beneficial for you and the baby, because you both can gain so much from it. But initially you get a bond that every child wants with their parent, every mother wants with their child. For any women that are hesitant about breastfeeding their children, I want to let them know that it is a very overwhelming thought. And it's not something easy, but just like learning how to talk, learning how to ride a bike, teaching your child how to use the bathroom, it's a process. It's a learning process. And how do you know that you can't do it until you try? And once you try, you're probably going to continue, and if you don't, it's okay, because the little bit that they get is better than nothing. And the effort that you are giving as a mother and as their sole provider, just being able to say, at least I tried, is beyond rewarding. No matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, your diversity, culture, religion, it doesn't matter. You can breastfeed, and breastfeeding is the best thing.